What's up guys, today we have Cal on the show, a crafty blue belt with some really nice wrestling. We start off collar tying each other. Cal is setting up grips for a throw by, which I'll explain more about throw bys later. However, this does give me a clear path to his left leg, but I shoot in for both legs for the double. I'm reaching a bit too much with my shoulders far past my hips, but I know as long as I keep my feet moving, I should be able to finish this. I do, and right away I insert my arm between his legs to use as a wedge to control his hips, before replacing my hand with my knee to do the same job. Now I stretch Cal out with my right arm. I'm opening him up to make space to step over into mount, but he turns to avoid mount, but turning like that exposes his back and I take his back. Right away I'm grip fighting using the straitjacket system, controlling his top arm with my bottom arm so I can pass his top arm to my top foot and trap it with that top hook. I start to attack a shoulder lock, but Cal manages to rotate into me. I counter by letting his head and shoulder fall right into my lap, between my legs to attack the triangle. Right away I grab my shin to control his posture and get the angle that I need for my lower leg. That angle being my lower leg parallel with his shoulders. I secure the triangle, but I can feel I'm not that deep with my hamstring on his neck, and figure it'll be easier to armbar him from here rather than attack the choke. It can be difficult to get enough leverage on a triangle armbar with the standard 2 hands on the wrist grip, so I bring his wrist to my armpit for additional leverage, resulting in a more powerful armbar. I'm happy to announce I'm back with X Martials, so check them out if you want a sweet rash guard like mine. We start again, and look how I pull Cal with my left arm, causing him to step. Once he steps, his foot is now close enough for me to grab it for an ankle pick. I slightly lose my footing, but I come up on top for the takedown. He gets this deep De La Hiva hook in place, and I need to be mindful of him inserting his right foot behind me as well, as he then could potentially take my back. That's why I'm controlling it with my hand, and then drop my hips lower to take away the space that he would need to take my back. I try to throw him off by appearing to want to attack his right foot for a toe hold, but what I really want is to attack his left leg. So I lift up on it to get it between my knees in my lap, and take the same style of armpit grip as I had on the armbar to attack the knee bar. It's usually easier to attack a knee bar with the hip of the leg that you're attacking on the ground, which is why I start to direct his left hip to that side. But I feel like I'm losing the angle needed for the knee bar, so I switch to another leg lock. I switch to what's called a Woj lock, which positions the flat of his foot on my chest. The finishing mechanics are very similar to a toe hold. I wasn't able to keep his hips to the mat. He does the right thing by building height, so I just abandon it. He tries for a quick leg drag, but I'm able to intercept it by getting my foot behind and between his legs before he can close the distance. Now I push on his tricep, which prevents him from turning and facing me, and puts his weight on his hands to make his legs light. I would have liked to grab his left leg to wrestle him up, but he anticipates my attack and steps away before I can get a hold of his leg. I didn't do too much to prevent the front headlock, as I'm pretty tired going into this. I was sick earlier in the month for almost 2 weeks, and my body is still recovering. I know I can rest here though, as I'm aware of the threats that face me. He's either going to attack my neck for a choke, or try to get behind my elbows to take the back. I'm controlling his wrist with my right hand to defend the choke attempts, and I'm ready to grab a leg if he tries to take my back, and that's what he does try to do. So I go to grab a leg, but I end up with an underhook, which is fine with me as well. I start looking to wrestle him down, and he front rolls to counter. Maybe this front roll was to attack a leg lock or simply to re-guard, but I'm on top of it and I fall with him so I can enter the truck. Every once in a while, students ask me, what is one thing that can improve their jiu-jitsu immediately? Most people expect me to say train more, study more, or something similar. But actually, one of the first things I ask them is about hydration. Because jiu-jitsu isn't just about techniques. It's a physical communication between your brain and your muscles. And that communication depends heavily upon minerals that your body loses when you sweat. Sodium, potassium, and magnesium all play a role in how your muscles contract and how your body responds during training. If those aren't there, your jiu-jitsu won't feel as sharp or coordinated. That's why I drink Element. It's a zero sugar electrolyte drink mix that focuses on replacing those minerals. No artificial sweeteners, no junk. Just the right amount of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, the minerals that your body needs. And I'm especially enjoying Element's new sparkling cans. They are super tasty, and honestly, I can't get enough of them. And now you can grab a free sample pack with any Element order using my link, so you can try their most popular flavors. Get yours at drinkelementtea.com/JordanTeaches. This deal is only available through my link. You must go to drinkelementtea.com/JordanTeaches. I try again for that Woj lock, but mostly because I'm going for variety, not because I'm particularly good at it, and it doesn't work for me, so I just transition to the back, which is a relatively easy thing to do from the truck. You just need to get their hips fully in your lap. I secure the body triangle, which is better for control compared to regular hooks, and start to attack a modified twister. But as he builds height by getting to his elbow, I see my opportunity to attack an armbar. He hides his head to prevent me from getting my hamstring in front of his face, and from here it's going to be hard to get that. I need to flip him over first, which is why I shoot my knee to the other side of his head. To get him to flip over, I just need to grab his leg and pull it across my body. But he gives me what I want by flipping himself over, which isn't necessarily a bad thing to do, because if he can do so on his own terms, he might be able to improve position as he does, which he does as my hips are at a poor angle and my legs in poor position to keep his head down and posture broken. He's able to again build height and now escape the armbar. If I could have at least got my shin in front of his face here, I probably could have kept him down. But when he cleared my knee completely by getting his head in front of it, I really lost the ability to control his head. We reset and I pull guard, and I find the opportunity to get underneath his arms and get to his legs to wrestle up. I again make sure to keep moving my feet to ensure I complete the takedown. As I come up, I pin his lower leg and upper leg together. Now we can't use that leg, and his other leg has no connection to me either. I was kind of just camping here for a bit, resting, and then eventually I clear his knee into side control. He should have better prioritized bringing his elbows back to his body, because with his left arm lazily hanging out here, I can just easily pin it and then staple it to isolate it, to trap it so he can't use it. And now I can more easily attack his right arm. With his hand in front of his face, the Americana is an obvious choice. But I must have felt the armbar was going to be more so the path of least resistance. So I position that hand behind my head, which is very much an armbar attacking position. I just need to get his elbow between my legs to enter it. As I transition, I use my left foot to keep his hands away from each other. This way I'm able to enter the armbar without him obtaining defensive grips, which I would then have to break first to extend his arm. And this just prevents that in the first place. We start again and check out this throw by Cal hits. He counters my collar tie by bringing his outside arm over and to the inside. He then grips a hold of my tricep to drag me forward and briefly gets behind my elbows. I know to prevent the back take, I need to get my arms back in front of him, which I do, and that's what keeps me safe. Like before, I'm ready to grab a leg if the attack that he chooses is to get behind my elbows and take my back. And that's exactly what he tries for, and that's exactly what I do. I get a hold of his leg and I hold onto his leg for a bit to rest. He tries to sprawl hard to put pressure on my hands to separate, but I'm pretty stubborn. Eventually I bring my head from the inside to the outside, where it'll be easier for me to wrestle him down. Instead of really fighting it off, Cal basically just pulls guard, which is fine while rolling, but it can be a bad habit if the plan is to compete. In such case, you don't want to give people easy wins. Eventually I pass the guard with a back step. And here Cal provides a great example of what not to do when turtling. He's leaving a ton of space open, which allows me to grip inside of his turtle to control him. Turtle should be thought of as a defensive shell, one which you prioritize not letting your opponent get inside. To take his back, I pull Cal to the side, forcing his weight over his shin so he can fall directly into my lap. He's doing a good job of not letting me trap his top arm with my top hook, but eventually I find my way through. My hips are already high on the back, closer to his shoulders, so attacking his upper body is the logical choice. I enter the rear triangle, and from here, I really have my choices of what I want to finish with, and get him with both the choke and the armbar. Alright, thank you for sticking around until the end of the video. If you're still here, please leave a comment or a fist bump, and I'll see you guys next time.